America's favorite painter had a secret, one that could have destroyed his career. In 1964, Norman Rockwell painted a scene so emotional it made grown men cry and mothers shield their children's eyes. It exposed an uncomfortable truth about America that no one wanted to face. Gallery owners rejected it, and newspapers refused to print it. But Rockwell painted it anyway, knowing it could end everything he had worked for. Norman Rockwell was born on February 3, 1894, in Harlem, New York City. His family wasn't rich, and his father worked for a textile company. From a young age, Norman felt like an outsider, skinny, clumsy, and disconnected from his parents. But drawing became his escape. At just 14, Norman left high school to attend the Chase School of Fine and Applied Art in New York City. Despite financial struggles, his family supported him. By 18, he landed his first big job illustrating Tell Me Why stories, earning $150. This led to a key break. Boys Life magazine hired him, and by 1913, at 19, he was the magazine's art editor. Norman's illustrations of the Boy Scouts shaped how America saw them, making their calendar the top seller in the country by 1929. But success didn't make him complacent. In 1914, he befriended fellow artist Clyde Forsyth, and together they pushed each other to submit work to the Saturday Evening Post. In 1915, Norman moved to New Rochelle, home to some of the best illustrators in the country. The move opened doors, and by 1916, he was on the verge of something even bigger. At 22, Norman Rockwell's life changed forever when he submitted work to the Saturday Evening Post. His first cover appeared in May 1916, and within months he had painted 6 more. His work quickly gained national attention, with Life magazine even calling the Post the greatest show window in America. But success came with its own pressures. By 25, Norman was burnt out. He left his job at Boys Life to focus solely on the Post, where he had already painted 25 covers. Despite the outward success, Norman wrestled with deep insecurities about his appearance, his name, and his place in the world. He poured these feelings into his art, painting people who felt awkward or overlooked, making millions of Americans feel seen. In 1916, he married Irene O'Connor, but their relationship was troubled. Irene wanted a normal life, while Norman was consumed by his work. They never had children, and after 14 years, Irene filed for divorce in 1929, shortly after the stock market crash. By 1919, Norman Rockwell had become America's most recognized magazine illustrator, but the pressure led to a nervous breakdown in 1920. He took time off, finding comfort in his friendship with fellow illustrator J.C. Leyendecker. Despite this, Norman's career continued to soar with major brand partnerships like Jell-O and his signature warm, family-oriented advertisements. In 1929, after a trip to Europe, his wife Irene left him, and they divorced in 1930. Norman's mental health struggled further, leading to a hospitalization in 1933. In 1935, he was asked to illustrate Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, which became a pivotal moment in his career, though he later regretted some of the racial stereotypes in the illustrations. In 1938, Norman and Mary bought a farmhouse in Vermont, but her worsening alcoholism and their troubled marriage caused him deep anxiety. In 1939, he began therapy, realizing that his happy family paintings reflected his own childhood loneliness. In 1942, he pitched a series based on Roosevelt's For Freedom speech. The Saturday Evening Post hesitated, but Rockwell funded it himself. The paintings raised $132 million in war bonds in 1943, despite backlash over the freedom of worship painting, which showed people of different races praying together. That same year, Norman's studio burned down, destroying hundreds of works. Though never proven, he suspected arson. The loss was crushing, but the community rallied, bringing him new pipes as a gesture of support. Also in 1943, he painted Rosie the Riveter for the Post, symbolizing strength during World War II. While the image became iconic, it angered some, particularly in the South. Meanwhile, Norman's marriage was deteriorating. Mary's alcoholism worsened, and she required long-term psychiatric care. In 1953, They moved to Stockbridge, Massachusetts for her treatment. Norman began therapy to cope with the pressures of fame and personal pain. In 1946, he published My Adventures as an Illustrator, sharing his journey and the battles behind his art. Norman Rockwell's My Adventures as an Illustrator depicted his life as one of insecurity and perfectionism, but left out darker struggles. It's now believed that he used amphetamines to keep up with his intense work schedule, while battling anxiety and depression. In 1951, Rockwell moved to Stockbridge, Massachusetts, under the guise of seeking peace, but his second wife, Mary, was battling alcoholism and depression. Rockwell worked tirelessly to cover her medical expenses, hiding the pain behind his idealized portrayals of America. In 1953, his son Peter publicly criticized him for being emotionally distant, though later letters revealed Rockwell's attempts to connect with his sons. His perfectionism, however, led him to sacrifice time with them. Mary's death in 1959 deepened Rockwell's grief, but his emotional work was rejected by magazines, which preferred joy over sorrow. His doctor once said, "You paint your happiness, but you don't live it." Rockwell suppressed his pain to keep working, but it took a toll. In 1961, Rockwell remarried Molly Punderson, a retired teacher who provided the stability he needed. In 1963, after 47 years, he left the Saturday Evening Post, tired of painting only idealized white families, and joined Look magazine, where he focused on civil rights and real human struggles. In 1964, he painted The Problem We All Live With, depicting Ruby Bridges walking to school under U.S. Marshals protection, which angered many readers. Later that year, he created Murder in Mississippi after the murder of 3 civil rights workers. His 1967 painting New Kids in the Neighborhood depicted black and white children meeting in a desegregated neighborhood. Despite threats and criticism, Rockwell continued to tackle difficult subjects into his 70s. In 1978, 7 of his paintings were stolen in a major art heist. One, Taking a Break, 1919, was recovered 40 years later. In 2013, biographer Deborah Solomon suggested Rockwell had hidden erotic drawings and repressed desires, but the truth remains unclear. In 1977, President Gerald Ford awarded Rockwell the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Rockwell didn't attend, and his son accepted the award for him. By then, Rockwell was reflecting on his life, admitting that, despite his success, he sometimes felt he had missed his true calling. He passed away on November 8, 1978, at age 84. After his death, it was revealed that he had about $50,000 in unpaid therapy bills, an amount worth about $200,000 today. It was a painful reminder of the inner struggles he fought while painting his idealized America. In 2004, an incredible discovery was made when Rockwell's Breaking Home Ties was found hidden behind a false wall in the home of illustrator Donald Trachta. The original, one of Rockwell's most famous works, sold at auction in 2006 for $15.4 million. The discovery raised questions. How many more originals were hidden away, kept secret from the world? If you love Hollywood gossip, celebrity news, and all things star-studded, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss an update. Also, drop a comment below